Welcome back to Oak Grove Theater. This time we're going to talk technical theater. For an audience, technical theater involves a lot of the stuff that they don't see, and, well, except for maybe the actors, all of the stuff that they do see. The costumes the actors wear, the makeup, the hair, the props, the set pieces, furnishings, decorations, the music, sound effects, lighting, special effects. They're all tech. That's all part of tech. The directors, the stage managers, choreographers, fight choreographers, music crew. Thank you. The crew leads, assistants, the stage crew, they're all a part of creating tech and running tech during the performances. There is one job that manages all these folks. One job that is tasked with coalescing the team and making sure that everything runs smoothly. The producers. And here at the Oak Grove Theater, the producer's job often involves tasks that you don't really find at most indoor theaters. And no, this is probably not the right tool for this job. The job of producing at the Grove attracts a certain kind of personality. There are many famous and respected producers throughout our Grove history, and tonight you will meet a powerhouse production duo. It's a beloved pair that we all know as the Susans.
Hi, Susan!
Hi, Susans!
Hi, Susan!
Hi! Wait on set, please!
So Susan Polly, Susan Vass, introduce yourselves.
Yes, I'm Susan Polly, and I've been playing under the stars at Oak Grove since 1978.
I've been playing under the stars since 1978, and she and I have been working together out here since 1980.
Susan Polly, Susan Vass, welcome. Why don't we just jump right in, and why don't you tell us what a producer does and what's unique about that job here at Oak Grove Theater?
Well, here are the SOPs, the standard operating procedure. So it pretty much covers everything. The one thing I would say, in addition to all the tech things that a producer does, you really do want to create a crew that's a happy crew. We feed our crew, don't we, Susan?
Yep, we sure do. And then the other thing that makes it different out here is, of course, the elements. Rain, storms, cold, hot, sweat. Then they're the animals that Melissa Dawes mentioned before.
Now here at the Grove, I know that producers also are pretty responsible for both front of house, back of house, and all the operations.
That's true, and we used to divide that up. She would take the house on a show night, and I would do backstage before the show started.
When it comes to finding crew, what's the first crew chief that you look for a show?
Set.
Set?
Absolutely. And then lights.
Hey, the Susans?
Yeah.
I'm about to send out the director's notes from last night's rehearsal. Is there anything you need me to include?
Well, I would say to make sure you do a rain drill.
Gotcha. Hi, I'm Rowan, and I've been playing in the woods since 2010. One thing that a Grove stage manager should know is to thoroughly bug spray. During rehearsals and the show, we run the book, whether it's a big binder or pocket-sized. The book is the full script for the show, and it's where we make blocking notes, write the sound and light cues, and plan the scene changes and more. We figure out where all of the set pieces are Tetrised backstage, too. It can take a special kind of choreography to figure out who takes what off where, when. It's also planning for the best while preparing for the worst. That means knowing which set piece is a beloved heirloom and needs to be covered first in case of rain, and also how to set up the pavilion for a show in case we have to do a rain run.
Our job is to work with the directors. The directors have a creative vision, and our purpose is really to carry that out.
To make it come true.
I think that's important.
So when you bring a designer in first, a set designer in first, is that because everything sort of has to fall around, everything from choreography to lighting, the whole 9 yards, it all has to fall around whatever the set design is going to be? And
that's true. But you know, in our experience, we frequently had the director is the one who designed their own set. I see Terry up there. She used to mostly design her own sets. And then we had some who really wanted to work with Herb Weigel.
Hi, John.
Hi, good to see you. Just wanted to ask a quick question. Is it all right if I spend, say, $1,000 on marble tile for the castle scene?
No! Reuse the stuff in the sheds.
Hi, I'm John Kraft. I've been playing in the woods since 2015 and have helped to design sets out here. I would never spend $1,000 in real life on one production. That's generally the entire budget to build everything, or even less. But what we try to do is reuse everything as best we can to be good stewards of the dollars we have. We may repaint and reimagine and use creativity instead of additional dollars. We also have to build the set so it stands up to all the elements for the 7 or 8 days that it's up. We're here to all work together, and so we work with the production that's after ours as well to make sure they have all the things they need that we can leave behind so we don't have to move them back and forth. Thanks, the Susans. Have a great night.
Well, he's exactly right. The one thing I do want to mention, I always think of these things. We've been fortunate to have wonderful set builders during the years that we've worked out here. And I know I'll leave somebody else. I know I'll leave some people out. But we think about Bill Samantle. We think about Max Swift. We think about Herb Weigel. We think about
Jerry Pangburn.
We think about Jerry Spoon. We've just been very fortunate to have those individuals.
Hi, I'm Julia. I'm sorry, but these tap shoes, they're going to last 2 days backstage in the mud, and also the rain. What are we going to do about the rain?
It gets really slick. We'll be out here with leaf blowers and fans and do the best we can to dry it off for you.
All right. Hi, I'm Julia Busty. I've been playing in the woods since 2009. A choreographer's job is to help tell the story through dance and movement. So we work with the director to find the times when the characters have gone beyond needing words to tell the story, to tell their emotions and thoughts. Think about the dance break in Yorktown from Hamilton, for example, or the Dream Ballet in West Side Story. These are great examples of those times. Or sometimes you just need to set a character apart from everyone else, like sort of recently on the Oak Grove stage in Midsummer Night's Dream, when we had fairies who were magical and fantastical and needed to move differently from everyone else. That also requires the work of a choreographer. This year, Kiera, Tally, and I were going to be the choreographers for 9 to 5, directed by Amy Neal Bussey. And while we didn't get the chance to work together this year, Kiera and I are really excited to hopefully work together in the future. Thanks, Susans.
Thank you, Julia.
Next year.
We hope. I remember Camelot. We had great choreography, but they were doing things like splits out here on the concrete stage, and we found out that that probably wasn't a good idea.
Very good.
How do you tap and dance on the original concrete stage?
We didn't do a lot of that. We just absolutely did not do a lot of that.
Have you two ever danced in a show?
Are you kidding? No.
We've been in a show.
Uh-huh.
What was that?
Walk On in Taming of the Shrew and Walk On in Less and Lovage.
I was an understudy to Pam Lott for Antigone. Of course, you realize during the play she never said anything.
But you had her choreography down.
Absolutely. Sit in the chair.
Let me ask you a question, because both of you are not only remarkable producers and well respected around here, but both of you are also experienced costumers. Is costuming for an outdoor performance different?
I say it is, especially in the hem lengths. You need to make them just slightly shorter so they won't drag the stage and get really dirty and stained.
Well, and we have to do laundry almost every night, so that when the actors come in, it's a courtesy.
I always have a little bag of pins and needles and threads and tape, glue, emergency.
Now, we do 5 shows during the summer, and I know I and many others around here have been in shows set during the winter. As a costumer, do you think about that?
Yeah, we feel sorry for them.
Thank
We
you.
discuss it. We say, no, don't put leggings on or hose on Judy last summer for End of the Rainbow, because she would burn up in those hose.
Absolutely.
We try.
Absolutely.
You put sheets down on the ground for them to stand and change on so that the
Yes,
costumes don't get
absolutely.
dirty.
Right.
We try. Do anything.
Don't panic. It was just a bug. Hi, ladies. You know I appreciate a good costume, but I was wondering if we could talk about hair and makeup for a moment. Hi, I'm Reece Middleton, and I've been playing in the woods since 2017. I love doing hair and makeup out here because it's always such an adventure working with the elements and everything. If an actress has perfect hair for her part, then we leave it be. Otherwise, I prefer to use a wig. You will need always lots and lots of bobby pins and lots of hairspray. And don't show up with White Rain or Aquanaut because they are highly fragrant and will attract bugs. As far as makeup, we try and keep it simple around here. I like to train actors to do their own makeup, especially with conditions the way they are these days. Everyone will need a personal makeup kit. Remember, when you give a man a fish, you've given him dinner. But if you teach a man to fish, you've given him a fishing pole. That's not how that goes. Anyway, it's so great to see you both. I've missed you.
Miss you too.
Missed you too.
Lovely.
Take care.
We need that hat for a play.
Oh, okay.
Oh, me.
Okay. I was trying to think about a play that we were doing out here, but anyway, she had this wild hair, and there was a bat.
Oh, Lord.
I remember that.
It got stuck in her
And the
hair.
actress remembers that.
Hey, Susan.
Oh,
Susan.
hey, Paul!
We need to order new lamps for the Fresnels. Also, I wanted to catch up with you about the grant proposal for the new lights. Hi, I'm Paul, playing in the woods since 1979. Lighting at the Oak Grove tends to stick to the basics. After all, our semi-permanent setup is made up of about 12 lights in the trees, and that's actually plenty for many productions. But often the script or the production demands more, and that's where things become a little more interesting for the lighting designer. For example, to change the mood or the feel of a scene, we might put a different color in the actors using colors or gels like these. We can also make individual areas of the stage brighter or darker, change the shape of the light, or change the direction from which the light comes, perhaps to emphasize a certain part of the action. For some shows, we'll even go as far as building completely new lighting positions on poles or as part of the set itself. And of course, musicals often call for manually controlled spotlights, which incidentally provide an excellent opportunity to volunteer.
Paul mentioned the grant. Talk about that.
Well, we're very fortunate. Community Foundation awarded a grant of $2,000, and we're fortunate enough to get that grant.
Let's talk about 845.
For us, it's traditional to start at 8:45, and we understand that in an interview with Betty Collins, that she indicated that Fletcher had always said you had to start at 8:45, otherwise you couldn't have a blackout at the end of Act 1.
What do you remember as far as lighting?
Lighting-wise?
Well, there's a story, but we can't tell it. We created lights for Godspell, and there was this
Opening number, they each pulled on a light.
grid, and that was the first time I'd really met Susan. We had to paint that grid.
Hi, Susan. How are
Say
you?
something about that grid, and I knew Susan was a keeper because she said, "We're doing this." Hi, Greg.
Hi,
Greg.
how are you? So that we can sort of share that with folks, our set realization is gathering of all the props, the items that decorate the set, that dress the set. So that would be the furniture, the carpet, the artworks, the lamps, all of those elements that we can borrow from our own homes, from local businesses to dress our set before each performance. So,
And he's absolutely one of the best.
thank you all. This will work?
Thank you, Greg. Yeah,
sure.
Okay, all right, good.
Oh, hey,
Greg.
Greg, will you hang with us for a moment?
Sure.
You're a talented actor, director, and as well as a fantastic technical designer. And earlier I spoke with the famous Grove producers, Susan's included, but I also think that's something you have in common with them. This question goes to all three of you, not only as producers, but as Oak Grove board members. What would you three say to a viewer who maybe wants to work backstage tech?
Contact us. www.oakgrovetheater.org on our Facebook page. Let us know you're interested. I ended up out here by being invited by someone who knew I was interested.
I was recruited by Susan Polly.
Yeah, we
so-
trained him.
Yeah, they did. So.
Our lucky day.
It is a magical place. It really, really is.
Thank you everyone for giving us a glimpse of backstage at the Grove.
5 in places, everyone! 5 in places, then we'll start from the top!
Wait, what? No.
Kidding.
Let us all give special thanks to every person who has ever worked backstage, outdoors, under the stars, at the Grove.